Hey y'all, it's Diane with Shawcraft One in my old barn door, and today we're actually going to be playing with our scrap pieces and gesso. Again, this is not Tostitos avocado salsa, it is gesso. Keeping it in that jar. Um, so, but I think this video is going to come after a few of the videos that I have already done in this collaging fun series type deal. So this should be the next video in from the mass making tag video that I did, and we didn't finish the tags in that video, so I wanted to show them to you real quick because I told you I would finish them and then show them to you. So here we go. All right, so let me just make sure I'm in frame. Okay, this was our original pattern tag. Okay, so this is the one we used as our pattern. Let me move all of this stuff out of the way. Okay, and so here is one of the larger tags, and I've topped it. I've topped it with some fabric, and I put the button and the little piece of fabric on the side. And the next one, I did lace at as the topper on this one, and then the little fabric and button on the side there. This one I just left plain, just simply because I liked it plain and I didn't think it needed anything else. So that's the next one. Then there's this one. I liked it as well, so I left it plain and just put a topper on it with some masking tape kind of reinforcing where I punched the hole. And then here are the smaller ones. So you have this one, and I added the ribbon on the side here, or actually it's fabric, two different kinds of fabric. And then here's the next one. So here's one of the smaller ones. Again, all of them were created using this one pattern. And then there's this one, and I kind of liked it, just very simple. So I just kind of wanted to leave it. I might put something here, I don't know. It's according to when I get ready to use it in the journals. If I put something there or if I leave it. But I love that. That's the piano roll paper. And then there's this one. So we did 9 tags in that video, and we didn't get them completely finished, but again, I would say you could finish 10 of them, 9 of them, 9 or 10 in an hour's time frame by using this method. So those are the tags. I think they turned out really pretty. And again, all of them using this one pattern. Okay, so let's scoot these to the side. I'm going to move them over here. Oh, here's one last one that we did. Missed that one. So there's the other one. So I'm going to scoot these to the side, and we're going to get started playing with our gesso, so I can kind of show you how I did these. Okay, hang on, I'm going to have to grab a palette knife. 1 second. Okay, I got my palette knife. Now, you do not have to have a palette knife to do this. You can do this with like this is an old gift card. I don't even know who it belonged to, but anyway, you know, you can do it with some kind of old card or credit card or whatever card you have. So you don't have to have a palette knife, but I like the palette knife because you can get into the tiny spaces a little bit easier. So anyways, you need gesso, your palette knife, and your stencils. So I have some stencils here that we're going to use. Let me put the glue up because I'm not going to need it right now. I'm trying to get some things out of the way. Okay, so just say we have, like, this is a super duper old book page. Like, it's so old, it's really brittle. See how it's breaking? And it's really, really thick. So it's a good thing for doing this on because it will take the gesso fairly easy. But you can do it on a thin, like this is a super thin piece of coffee dyed book page. This is really, really thin. It's probably as thin as some of the dictionary pages. It's not as thin as a Bible page, but this one's super thin. Then I have some masking paper, which we all know is super thin. Got some vellum. I haven't tried it on vellum, but I thought we would try it. Got some music paper, some cardstock, and some different music paper. So I thought we would just play with it, and I'll just show you. It's not going to be a super long video because it's not hard at all. There's not a whole lot to it. You're just going to take your stencil. These are die cuts that I used with my Cricut. So I die cut this out on like a, this was actually like, you know, the workbook covers, like the old school workbook covers. That's what this was cut out of, and it didn't cut the way I wanted it to cut. So, but I didn't want to throw it away, so I decided to use it as a stencil, and it turned out it was super cute. So I'm just going to lay this down on my book page wherever you want your stencil to be, and then, you know what, my gesso has kind of thinned out, so I think what I may do, instead of trying to get my cornstarch and thicken it up or whatever, I think I might just use my my matte medium. Hang on, let me grab it. Okay, I was incorrect on that. It is not matte medium. It's modeling paste, and I just got this at Hobby Lobby. It says Master's Touch, which I think is the Hobby Lobby brand, kind of like Paper Studios is the Hobby Lobby brand of paper. But this is what it is. And I think I probably got it on sale. Maybe not, I don't know. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Hang on, I'm going to adjust the camera. Try not to make you dizzy. And let me just adjust things in the frame. Okay. So basically, you're just going to take your gesso. If you've got some that's thick enough, like I say, mine's thinned out, so I need to fix it. But this is modeling paste. So, and I'm just going to hold this down on my book page wherever you want it to go, and you just start rubbing it over your stencil. Now you want to kind of hold your stencil down good so that, you know, y'all could probably stencil better than I can because I've never been good at stenciling. But you just rub it in, just like so. And I have enjoyed playing with this modeling paste, doing these. I've had fun with it. And they make cute embellishments for your tags or journal cards or whatever you're going to put them on. Or even on a journal page or a journal pocket. Okay. So we have that all finished, and so we just pull it up and you have that. And it's really, really pretty. I like it. Now, after a little while, the little tiny holes, they start filling up with gesso. So on something like this, because it's, you know, it's paper, you can't wash it. But if you have plastic stencils like these, you can wash them off. So let's do a couple more on book page or on our scraps. And I need somewhere to sit this. I didn't bring another piece of waxed paper over. Let me just pull one of my glue pages off here. I'll just sit it on top of that so it doesn't get on my desk. Okay, so we're just going to sit this one to the side to dry. Let's pull this one in. And I have this stencil here that has these pretty flowers and butterflies. So let's just put some of these on here and see how it looks. Okay, and you can just do like a section of it if you want to, or you can do the whole thing. It's completely and totally up to you. I think I'm just going to do a little bit of a section of it. Just whatever I can use the rest of this gesso with, or modeling paste with. See if I can get that one filled up. Maybe we can do the butterfly over here. I might have missed one, but it'll be okay. Alright. So now I'm just going to take this off. And again, you get your pretty little flowers on your book page. Okay. So let me grab a couple of the tags to show you what it looks like. Okay, so here's the one tag that we used in the last video as our pattern. So this is, I used gesso, excuse me, with this, and I used it with this stencil, which is a little bit different of a stencil. I don't know if you can tell on video, but it has a kind of like a screen covering it. It's a very flexible, it's not plastic, but I don't know if you can see. Let me get up to the screen or to the camera real close. But do you see that inside there? It's like, so it's almost like screen printing, I would think. Now, I've never done screen printing, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. And I really, really love the way this one does. Because with these, let me just pull one over here. These are a little thicker and it's a little more raised. Whereas with this one, it's pretty much flat to the paper. So it's just a little bit different. It still has a little bit of a texture to it, but this one has more texture. And y'all know I'm a texture person, so I love texture. So I like these with the texture, but I really, really love the way these have turned out. So those are that's kind of a little bit different. This one is the same way. I used it on that stencil. I think it's actually the same piece, and so is this one. And so is this one. I think I did like a whole sheet of this. But then you have this. So here's a tag. It's not a completed tag yet. I haven't finished it. But here's one that I started. So you have the gesso there. This is one of the collage pieces that you can put like coffee dyed paper, or in this case I put pattern paper on the back, so for journaling. So there's this, and we're going to make some of these probably in the next video or so, because we haven't had a chance to get to these yet, but we are going to make some. But here's, this is the gesso, and as you can see, I did mess up a little bit on that one, but I'm okay with that, and I actually like the way it looks, and I like how some of the gesso has smeared around it. I just like the look of that, and look, I've laid this in this gesso right here, so, or modeling paste. So anyway, that's kind of what it looks like on tags. So that's how you do it with the book page and your stencils and your either gesso, if you've got some thick enough, or modeling paste, whichever you choose. So I do want to try it on vellum real quick though. I want to see what it looks like on vellum. So let's just try one real quick on vellum before we move to our actual journal, because I'm going to do a couple of them in the journal. Okay, so I have this little stencil that a sweet friend gave to me, and I think we'll just use this one here. So let's just put it on the bottom down here of this gesso, and let's just, like I say, I haven't tried it on gesso yet, so let's just see what it does. And let me just make sure I'm in frame. Can y'all see? I zoomed in a little, so probably need to scoot up a little. Okay, so I'm just going to take some of my modeling paste, and I'm just going to put it through my stencil onto the vellum. I think I called this paper something else a minute ago. I don't know. I probably called it gesso because I've said gesso so many times. Y'all just bear with me. Thanks for loving me through my errors and my mistakes and my foggy brain and yes, my crazy foggy brain. Okay, so I'm just going to wipe off the excess back into my jar. Stop it, Grace. Grandma's on the phone. Sorry, y'all. Gracie hears a strange voice talking, and it's Grandma's got she's got her phone on speakerphone. So Gracie's barking at it. She's so funny. She will bark. If she hears a doorbell ring on the TV, she'll bark. It's so funny. Okay, so let's take this off and see what we've got here. Oh, I kind of like that on the vellum. It really stands out good on the vellum, doesn't it? That's pretty too. I did mess up a little. You can see where I smeared it a little, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Okay, so it works good on vellum too. And as you can see, it is curling a little though, so you'll probably want to leave it laying on a flat surface while it dries. So I'm just going to scoot this over to the side over here and let it be drying. Now I'm going to move this I'm probably going to fold it, so because I'm going to use this in the journal and show you different ways you can actually do this in one of your journals. Hang on, let me grab a journal. Okay, so here's the wedding journal that will go into the shop, and again, the cover's not finished. I do the covers usually last. I just need to scoop these over some because they need to dry before I touch them. So I should have done this before I turned the video on, but you know, it's okay. All right. So let me just zoom back out just a little bit so I can make sure y'all can see okay. All right, so I've marked a couple of places that I wanted to do this in the journal. So right here, okay, so for instance, if you wanted to use, you know, a piece of this on the top of this pocket here, I already have some that are dry. I'm going to just clip the journal open so I don't have to fight with the pages here. Bear with me. Grab another clip and clip that one open. Okay. So, let me just grab a couple of these pages here. Hang on, guys. Sorry y'all are having to listen to me fumble around in the craft room. I should have paused the video, but it'll be okay. Alright, so here's some that I have that are already dry. So I've done some just on some plain, I think this was actually cardstock. Some vintage ledger paper. This is very old. It's like from the early 1900s, like 1902 and 3. There's one of those from the screen printed one. Then we have some leaves because her journal, or her wedding's kind of a boho style. And then I have these. This one's kind of small, so we need kind of one with a pattern. Let me see if I can find one that's going to have. You know what? Let's do this one because it's kind of a pattern type deal. Or you know what? Let's use a piece of this. I think this would be a good contrast against that gray. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of measure here and make sure I'm in frame. Okay, we're good. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. And then I'm just going to tear this piece this way. Right down through there. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it. I'm just going to turn it this way and tear it this way. And it tears fairly easy too, even with the gesso on it. Okay, let me make sure that's not too wide. I think it is a little bit too wide. Or this way. So I'm just going to tear down this way a little just to make it fit. And again, it's not hard to tear through it even with the gesso on it. I mean, you can use your tear ruler if you want to. I was just too lazy to. Okay, so we're just going to put this right here. So let me grab my glue book and my glue stick. And we're just going to get some glue on here. And then we're just going to glue this down to that pocket. And see, you have it. It's instantly decorating the pocket. And I like the way that looks. Okay, and so with this pocket, I'm going to put some glue here. And that way you can put a tag in here or a card or whatever, and then you have a little pocket down here that you can tuck something in too. So that's one way you can use these in your journals. Let me see if I have another one in here. I think I do. Yeah. Okay. So I was actually going to try it on vellum, and we know it worked good on vellum, so we won't do this one. Let me just flip through here and make sure I didn't have any other spots marked in this one, because I think I need to grab Haley's journal for the other ones that I was going to do. So hang on. Okay, so I have Haley's journal, and I think I had some spots marked in hers. Let's see. Okay. Here's one of my markers. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to do it on like this little book page here. Since it's just kind of plain. I mean, I know you have the pretty stuff down here, but I was just going to try it and see how it would work in the journal on a book page. So I'm going to go ahead and take my clips and clip this open, and then I'm going to clip these together so that they don't pop up on me, like so, and that way we have more of a flat surface to be able to do this in our journal. Let me make sure I'm in the frame. Okay, so now we just need to pick what stencil we want to use for this, and you know what? Let's do this one because it has that screen printing and it has that really pretty border. So maybe we could just do the border on here. So let's try it and see what we get. So I'm just going to kind of line my stencil up and get some of my modeling paste and just swipe it on here. And I like this stencil because you can do a really, really thin amount of your modeling paste and it still looks just as good. Now down here, I think I just want to kind of end that there. Okay, and then we'll go over this way some. Now, you do get messy, but that's part of the fun of playing in your craft room, is getting messy, right? I don't know. Sometimes I have issues. I don't like getting stuff on my hands. I think it's an OCD thing with me. Okay, that's kind of a little bit hard down there in the, like in the crease. But I think we're okay. Alright. So I just kind of want to make sure that I've gotten everything covered good. And I don't want it super, super thin, but you can go kind of thinner with it. Okay. So let's see what we got. Okay. Here we go. Alright, let me get my wipe here. And okay, you can barely see it, but the good thing is you could do an ink spray on there and spray it and it'll make it stand out a little more. I kind of like how it's kind of neutral on there with just the white modeling paste, because you can see it. It just doesn't stand out super duper, but I do like that. If you wanted a color, like you could add a little touch of pink paint to a little scoop of your modeling paste, mix it up real good and use that, or whatever color you want. I just say pink because that's the colors that I'm using in this journal, pink and gold. You know, so you could do that. And then I think I had one more spot marked. Now, once you do this, you're going to need to leave your little wax paper. I'm just going to leave it in here so that until that dries. But I think I had one more spot marked in here, and let me just see if I can find it. Maybe I didn't have another spot marked. Maybe that's all. Nope, here it is. I was thinking I had another spot marked. Okay. So, okay, it was on this one. I wanted to kind of do it on the actual, like this is an Edith Holden page, and it's a good thick paper to be able to do this on, which again, you can do it on thin paper. But I really like this Edith Holden paper. So let's do one more on this little pocket here. I just want to do a little something on the pocket. And let's see, what stencil do we want to use? Oh, you know what? This would be pretty. Just do like a little doily type deal. So I'm going to get just a scrap piece of paper to put underneath it. Let me find one. it's not like I don't have a blue million laying around here. I promise y'all I have plenty of scrap paper. Here, let's just use one of these. So I'm just going to lay it underneath this just in case we go over the edge some. It doesn't get on our journal. It stays on the scrap. Okay, so let's just put this down here and get a little modeling paste. And again, you don't have to get a whole lot. I mean, I'm not getting a whole bunch. Because if you do, you'll make a big mess. Okay, and we're just going to lay that into our stencil. You can do this on tags. You can do it on scraps and then put them on tags. Or whatever works the best and the easiest way for you. Okay. Voila! Super pretty. I like it. And I even like how it went over the edge on there. So, because this pocket's going to be glued down. Got it on my hand. This pocket's going to be glued down and it's going to be just like a little tuck. And that's super pretty. I like that. So anyway, just thought I would share some of the fun with y'all. Get your gesso, get your modeling paste, get your stencils, play and have fun. Have fun in your journals, have fun on tags. Oh, here's another spot that I had marked. Let me look and see. Oh, it was the piano roll paper. I was going to try and do some on the piano roll paper. Excuse me. But I'm not going to do that now, just simply because I need to let this dry first, and I don't have another piece of wax paper to put in my page. So we'll just leave it. I think you get the point. I think I've shown you enough so that you know that you can play. Not that I'm teaching anybody anything new. I'm sure that I've not taught anybody anything new in any of my videos, because there has always been someone before me who has thought up of what I was doing. But anyways, so I just thought that we could play a little bit. So there's some things that you can do with your gesso or your modeling paste and make pretty pages in your journals. So I hope you've had fun with this video. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comment box below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for me if you will. And I hope y'all have a great day. Big hugs.